Alright, sports fans, I believe we are live. So, welcome to, yes, we are live. Welcome to our live watch party for the Stallions against the Breakers. The Maulers. Let me just bring up the comments real quick. Give me 1 second. So, we're set to kick off as soon as I bring up these comments. I'm going to put a poll out in the comments of who you guys think will win, so make sure to vote on that as soon as I put it out. Alright, here we go. Alright, so poll. So I just put a poll out. Let me know who's going to win, the Stallions or the Maulers. I have the Stallions getting the win here. By a score of, I believe I said 31-20 in my predictions video. So make sure to vote on that poll if you haven't already. And in the community tab of my channel, make sure to check that out I'd say, just make sure to check that out in general, as I put out polls and stuff of who you guys will think will win certain things. And so I put out a poll on Thursday of who you guys will think will win, and 21 people voted. 67% said the Stallions, and 33% said the Maulers. So 1 minute and 50 seconds till the game starts. So let me know in the comments if you have a score prediction. Make sure to vote on that poll. And, so something to watch is how the Stallions will use their quarterbacks and running backs, because I also need to pull up the comments, the rosters, not the comments. Is how the Stallions will use their quarterbacks and running backs in this game. So, last week, Bo Scarborough had a great game, and now their usual running back, CJ Marable, has been, I believe he's active for this game. He's listed as probable. Has been so make sure to vote on that poll. Let me know if you have a score prediction, as I'm going to bring up the inactives for the game. Alright, inactives for the Stallions against the Maulers are wide receiver Peyton Ramsey, quarterback Montel Cozart, wide receiver Adrian Hardy, wide receiver Marlon Williams, defensive back Malik Gant, linebacker Scooby Wright, offensive tackle Mark Snow, offensive tackle Darius Harper, wide receiver Carlos Henderson, and defensive end Seth Thomas. And for the Maulers, let me check. Hold on 1 second. Alright, here we go. Alright, there we go. For the Maulers, let me check. Okay, their inactives for the Maulers are safety Eli Walker, running back James Gilbert, linebacker Blaze Aldridge, offensive guard John Dietzen, offensive tackle Charles Baldwin, wide receiver Trey Walker, who I believe is a pretty big part of their offense, and defensive tackle Boogie Roberts. So make sure to vote on that poll, as I'm going to end it at kickoff. And if you have a score prediction, put that in the comments. And another thing to watch for the Stallions is is how they split up their quarterbacks, because they've had sort of a split between Alex Magoo and Jamar Smith. Jamar Smith has played a little bit more, as Magoo also missed time with injury. And they used a little bit of both last game, so let's see how they do it today. Also, I forget what I was saying now. For the Maulers, quarterback Vad Lee will be their starting quarterback after they waived Kyle Loletta earlier this week. He was signed by the Generals, who became the first USFL team to clinch a playoff spot yesterday with their win over the Bandits. So just waiting for this game to start. Comment if you have a score prediction. Make sure to vote on that poll of who you think's going to win this game. Again, I have the Stallions winning 31-20. Overall, the Stallions are pretty much the better team. When you compare the team stats, you got points per game, the Stallions 27, and the Maulers averaged 12.7. Passing yards per game, you got 183 for the Stallions. 168.3 for the Maulers. Rushing yards per game, 136.3 for the Stallions. 90 for the Maulers. Opponent. Now onto defensive stats, opposing points per game, so how many points they give up a game. You've got the Stallions giving up 18.2 yards. 18.2 points per game. Oh no, where'd those stats go I was looking at? But the only thing the Maulers are better than the Stallions at is opponent passing yardage. So they're set to kick this off, so I'm going to end this poll. Comment if you have a score prediction or didn't get a chance to vote on it. Oh, there was a few score predictions that I completely did not even see. So thank you for putting those score predictions in the comments. As the Stallions kick it away. Fielded, I don't know the Maulers team very well. I haven't seen a ton of their games. And it's returned by number 10. Let's see who that is. Up to the 32-yard line. Number 10 is Isaiah Henney. But we got score prediction 28-24 Stallions and 30-26 Stallions. Okay. I could see that. I think the Stallions will have a little bit more of a comfortable win, but they are without linebacker Scooby Wright, who is a huge part of their defense. Alright, so 1st and 10 for the Maulers. Vadley to throw. Nope, he's going to scramble, and he's going to go down for... I don't know if that was a quarterback draw or what that was, but he's going to get taken down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2 yards. Maulers' offense isn't great, 7th overall in an 8-team league, so obviously not great as that pass is too high. And almost intercepted, intended for number 85. Let's check who that is. That is tight end Hunter Thedford. Something to watch for is just overall the crowd, because they've only really been coming for the games involving the Stallions. Stallions have a middle-of-the-pack defense, overall ranking in 4th. There's a quick swing pass out to running back, who's 38? That's not Garrett Groshek. That is Mikey or Mickey Daniel. Oh, he's the fullback. Okay. But for is the crowd, it looks like there's a decent sized crowd for the middle of the day. Obviously it's not as big as it was for other games. I mean, also it's the best team going against one of the worst teams. As a quick 3 and out, as Victor Bolden is back deep to receive the kick as he gets it and gets up to the 22-yard line, got maybe a yard or two on the return. So good start for the Stallions and their defense. And it will be, looks like it's going to be Jamar Smith coming out on the field as the Oh, I forgot to put the score up on the top of the screen. Also forgot to change the color of the Maulers. Let me do that real quick. But Jamar Smith starts the game at quarterback for the Stallions. And Bo Scarborough starts off in the backfield at running back. There we go. As It's a gift to Scarborough on their first play from scrimmage, and they're going to get 2 yards. And the Stallions have the 3rd best offense in the league. So 2nd and 7 for the Stallions. Bo Scarborough now on Jamar Smith's right, and it's another give to Scarborough, who breaks a tackle and fights for extra yardage, but it's going to be 1 yard short of the first down marker to bring up a 3rd and 1. And they're going to go right back to Scarborough, who I'm not sure he got there. The ball came out, but they're saying he was down first. I'm not sure he got that first down. Let's see. They are going to give him the first down. If he did get it, he got just enough. So 1st and 10. Jamar Smith to throw. It's a screen out to Bo Scarborough, trying to get the ball into his hands very quickly. And another gain of 1 yard. Second and 9 for the Stallions. Bo Scarborough was the offensive player of the week last week against Michigan, having 104 yards and a touchdown on the ground. So 2nd and 9, I would expect probably a pass. Yep, they are going to throw it here. Smith takes a deep shot down the field for Victor Bolden. He dropped it in the bucket. Jamar Smith. Down to the 15-yard line is Victor Bolden. Jamar Smith dropped it right in the bucket of Victor Bolden, one-on-one down the field. Bolden had a step. Great throw, great catch there by Victor Bolden and Jamar Smith. Okay, I'm not sure if the comments have been weird for you. Okay, maybe not, but there was just a very strange... The poll results just came into my comments now, as Jamar Smith is going to keep it. 24-12 Stallions as a score prediction. That was a terrific throw, definitely. Put it right... dropped it right in. Great throw by Smith to Victor Bolden. So I'm not sure if I saw... if your comments came in later, but, yeah, I'm not sure, because they should have come in a little bit sooner. Or at least the poll results should have. But I'm not sure about your comments when you had them come in. So hopefully it's normal for... It's normal. Smith to throw for it. Looks to the end zone as there's just out of the reach of a diving Victor Bolden. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 8. Off his fingertips. He found an open Victor Bolden in the back of the end zone, just led him a little too far towards the sideline. Third and 8 for the Stallions. It is a draw play with Bo Scarborough, who tries to get around one tackler, but loses his balance to bring up about 4th and 5. So, pretty good first drive. Obviously, they'd like to end it with a touchdown. And the Stallions Kicker Brandon Aubrey is on for a 27-yard field goal attempt, and it is right down the middle as the Stallions take the early 3-0 lead. So good overall drive. I'm sure they would have liked to end that with 6 points. But at least they did come away with points, unlike the Maulers on their first drive. Birmingham as a good field goal kicker. Yes, they have one of the best in the league. He does have a little competition for best kicker in the league, as I saw the Panthers kicker last night. He made a 60-yard field goal. But overall, the Stallions do have one of the better kickers in the league, arguably the best. Overall, percentage-wise, the Stallions kicker Aubrey is 4th. Cole Murphy for the Panthers is 3rd. But, I mean, they haven't attempted a ton of field goals. Also, but, yeah. So, as I was saying, one of the better kickers, Aguilar of the Stars is 1 for 1 on field goals, so he's got a field goal percentage of 100, so I wouldn't really count that. But, otherwise, there's the New Orleans kicker. I don't know how to say his name. Let's see. Bertowat? I hopefully I said it correctly. He's 8 of 9 on field goals. That's good for 89%. And then you got Cole Murphy at 88% and Aubrey at 83%. As the Stallions kick it away after their field goal. And he's tackled by number 27. I believe that is JoJo Tillery at the Maulers' 29-yard line. As Scooby Wright is inactive for this game. He's really that centerpiece of the Stallions' defense. They were able to play okay without him last week. Let's see if they're also able to play without him today. He's out with, I believe, a calf and chest injury. That's what it was last week. Here is London. I believe that is London, number 9. Yeah. I don't know his first name, though. Madre London. Say, running back out of Tennessee. Scooby Wright's missing his 3rd straight game. 3rd? I thought it was 2nd. With a pec and knee injury. But he was one of the better linebackers, or arguably the best linebacker in the league before injury. Here's London with another run, getting close to another first down. And let's see where they mark him. But it's definitely going to be close, as he's going to be 2nd in inches. They're going to give him another first down. First down, important for Pittsburgh, yes. Something they need to do better is move the ball. Their offense, it hasn't been great, but at least they're moving the ball right now with running the ball pretty effectively, as there's another 5-yard run by London. Coming out, running the ball, establishing the run in this drive. helping them move the football. I think sometimes they could try to throw the ball a little bit too much and get a little pass happy, and not necessarily be. They're not necessarily an amazing team at throwing the football, whereas they have two pretty good running backs in Groshek and London. As back to London, and he's going to get another first down as there's a gain of 11. So, establishing the run is definitely big for the Maulers because their pass offense isn't amazing. The Maulers still yet to attempt to pass this drive. And it is another run with London, who gets about 4 to bring up 2nd and 6. So now that's 5 rushes for 43 yards for London. I believe all on this drive. Let me check that really, really quickly. Yep, all on this drive. There's another run. And that's going to bring them just short to a 3rd and 1. With the way they've been running it on this drive, why not run the ball again? London 6 carries, 46 yards, 7.7 yards per carry. Why not go back to it? 3rd and 1. And play action. And they're going to swing it out to the fullback, number 38. Oh, he hurdles a guy. I forget what I said his fullback name. Daniel. Okay. It's not often you see a fullback go up and over. Mikey or Mickey Daniel, I'm not sure how to say his name. They probably don't want Vadley to throw. I don't necessarily think that's the case, but I just think they're trying to not get too pass happy, because sometimes that could happen. There's another run with London up the middle for a 3-yard gain. Because Vadley, he has led them back in a few games. In the first quarter, they've scored 3 points this season and allowed 47. So obviously, they would like to turn that train around. 2nd and goal. Here's another run with London. And he's going to get forward for about 3, maybe 2 or 3 yards. To bring up 3rd and goal, I would go to the air here. You've ran the ball effectively. I would go back to the air. Go play action. 3rd and goal at, looks like, the 3-yard line. No, they're going to mark them at the 4-yard line. Okay. And they're going to go back to the ground with London, and he is going to stretch forward for the touchdown. Good running by London to get the touchdown for the Maulers, as that is their first touchdown of... that is their first quarter touchdown this season, and we're in Game 7. Stallions had 8 guys by the line of scrimmage. They had a wide receiver come in and block. And London was able to get the edge and dive forward for the touchdown before he... Yep, that's a touchdown. Before he was down. So 6-3 Maulers with the early lead ahead of the undefeated Stallions. Let's see if they can make it 7 with the extra point. It is up and good. So 7-3. Maulers, their first quarter touchdown this season is a run by London. London now got 9 carries for 54 yards and 1 touchdown. So, very, very good drive there for the Maulers. I think that's something they should try to do, and I think they're going to try to do more of that, and that is run the football. That drive ended 10 plays, 71 yards. Took a total of 5 minutes and 9 seconds off the clock. Best drive by the Maulers possibly this year. That was a very, very good drive by the Maulers. So they were able to just run the football, just keep pounding it, and then up the middle. Really, most of their runs were up the middle for a touchdown. So 7-3 Maulers in the first quarter. And now the Stallions will get the ball back after they had a good first drive, but just shut down in the red zone by the Maulers defense, which did a good job of holding them to a field goal rather than giving up a touchdown. .303 remaining in the first quarter, as they officially marked that as 72 yards, and that is their, as I've mentioned like a billion times by now, their first quarter touchdown this season. And that is wow, that ball went out of the back of the end zone. Something you very, very rarely see in the USFL, as they're kicking off from their own 25-yard line, and not their only 35-yard line. As the Generals clinched a playoff spot yesterday, and the Stallions could clinch a playoff spot today with a win. We also saw our first overtime game last night when the Breakers defeated the Panthers in overtime, which I did not see. I have to go back and watch that, so I'll go watch that later. Smith to throw. That is intended for Osiris Mitchell, but falls incomplete. At running back so far, it has been all Bo Scarborough so far. We haven't seen CJ Marable. And for the Stallions, they've got a second worst point differential in -11 in the first quarter, but then they've got a +64 point differential in the second half. So they're definitely a second half team, as they've, I believe, only won like 2 or 3 games at the half. So 3rd and 8 for the Stallions. I would expect them to go to the air here. Bo Scarborough goes out wide. Jamar Smith to throw for it, and he's under pressure and goes down for the sack back at the 12-yard line. Sacked by number 97. I don't know who he is. That is Terry Beckner Jr., a defensive tackle out of Missouri. Maulers looking strong to start this game. So now 4th and 17 as the Maulers defense forces the punt. And it is kicked away. It is a very short kick. And they're going to get the ball inside the Stallions' 40. So obviously not the best kick right there for the Stallions, as the Maulers will have outstanding starting field position and could really take a pretty big 14-3 lead after this drive if they're able to punch it in the end zone again. So I was thinking the other day, or this was actually a few weeks ago by now, imagine if the Maulers were still winless and the Stallions were still undefeated, and the Maulers get their first win against the Stallions, and the Stallions take their first loss against the Maulers. That would just be so weird. So I think the Maulers should go back to the ground game here, as it's worked pretty well for them. They're averaging 6 yards a carry. And, I mean, why not go back to it? Their leading pass catcher is their fullback, with 2 targets, 1 catch, and 17 yards. Really, the game of football has evolved. You don't really see a fullback a lot. But the Maulers, we've seen Daniel quite a few times so far. How much time left in the quarter? There is, I believe, I'm checking right now. There's 1 minute and 18 seconds left in the first quarter. And on the Maulers, so 1 minute and 18 left, 1st and 10 for the Maulers with great starting field position after not a good punt by the Stallions, as they're going to have the ball inside the Stallions 40 at the Stallions 39-yard line. And so, I'm just checking to see what that was officially marked as. That was marked officially as a 21-yard punt, so less than ideal. So 1st and 10. I'll get to your question 1 second after this play. 1st and 10. And it is a run, this time with Garrett Groshek, I believe that is. Don't know his number. Do you think it'll be a high-scoring game? It could be. I don't necessarily think... If it is, the Stallions definitely have the edge there, as I don't think the Maulers have the offense to keep up with the Stallions. But it could be. Not necessarily hideously high scoring. There's another run with Garrett Groshek that goes backwards to bring up 3rd and 10. But it could be a high scoring game. I think it'll probably be... I had 31-20, so decently high scoring, but not like insane. 3rd and 9. Potentially wasting... Wait, was that Groshek or Daniel they were running with? That was... I thought it was Groshek, but now I see Daniel in the backfield, who's their fullback. That Lee throws too high for... That was Daniel, not Garrett. Is Groshek inactive? Like, what's the deal with him? You think it's going to be a high-scoring game? Birmingham is really a second-half team. Yeah, definitely. They're definitely a second-half team. But I would still expect... like, I wouldn't expect them to be down big at the half. I mean, if they're down at the half by like by one score, I would say like it's not like something that's like hideously shocking. But like if they're down by like multiple scores, if they're down by like 15, 20 points at the half, I would be shocked. Meaningless game for the Stallions? Not really. They could actually clinch a playoff spot here with a win. I mean, not like it's like win or your season's over, but like it's not meaningless. They could clinch a playoff spot here, but like I'm pretty sure unless they're gonna have like a horrible end of the season collapse, they're gonna make the playoffs. So it's not meaningless, but I think it could definitely be. It's not meaningless, but it's not like it's super important. That's what I was checking. I was checking to see if Garrett Groshek is inactive. Because I read the inactives before. I may have just like been talking, just reading it, not realizing. I said his name. No, running back is James Gilbert is inactive, not Groshek. Let me see if he was on the injury report at all. Nope. Not on the injury report. So, it's strange we haven't seen Garrett Groshek on the field yet. Oh, thank you for answering this question. I was checking the inactives. But, yes, 10 games plus playoffs, which is the top two games in... The top two teams in each division make the playoffs. So, teams 1 and 2 in the North play each other, teams 1 and 2 in the South play each other, and the winner of each game goes to face each other in the championship game. As there's a kickoff, that is... Not sure what that was, I wasn't really paying attention. You didn't know about the USFL till recently, like a few weeks ago, or like, because this is the first season since the relaunch of the USFL, and we're 7 weeks in. Uh-oh, I just closed something I didn't want to. Alright, so really bad starting field position for the Stallions, as they're backed up within their own 5-yard line. They're at their own 4 to start this drive, as it's a give to Bo Scarborough just to get some room, and he's just going to get pushed up to the 9-yard line for a 5-yard gain. Now 6 carries, 20 yards for Scarborough. Second and 5. Scarborough hit in the backfield and escapes the tackle, but now he's got to get out of his own end zone. He's just going to plow forward and get a loss of 2 instead of a loss of 3 or 4. As soon as he got the ball, he was met by, I said his name before, but I don't remember it. Number 97, the big defensive tackle for the Maulers. That is Terry Beckner Jr. Just got to remember that. Seems like we'll be saying his name a lot, as he's made A few big plays so far. Had the big sack of Jamar Smith before. He forced a bad punt, which they didn't do anything with, and now was almost able to bring down Scarborough in the backfield, but instead swung him around, but didn't bring him down. 3rd and 6 at their own 8-yard line. Smith over the middle, low throw intended for, I can't tell who that is. That is, don't remember seeing him before. But low and incomplete. Let me check who that is. Thomas? Well, I'm used to them having, like, Jeffrey Thomas. As there's a better punt, but not good tackling, and it's going to end up being not a good punt as there's a big return still going inside the 30-yard line. So, again, really good starting field position for the Maulers. There is a flag, so hold on about that really good starting field position, as that will probably come back. Good punt until they gave up a really big return. Exactly. He was punting. Wait, so now I think they're going to get even better starting field position, as I believe they just called unsportsmanlike conduct on a Stallions player. Oh, taunting? Okay. Okay. So really good starting field position as they're getting the ball at from almost where the Stallions kicked it away from. There's Garrett Groshek. I was wondering where he had been. There he is. He's 37, right? Yep, Garrett Groshek, number 37. So now, the Maulers started at the Stallions' 14-yard line. Oop, they jumped, but they didn't catch him. 2nd and 7. There's another give to Groshek, who gets up the middle, breaks a few tackles, and gets inside the 10-yard line to bring up a 3rd and either 2 or 3. 3rd and 2. As the Maulers are the worst red zone team in the USFL with a 27% touchdown percentage, which is obviously not good, as you want to come away with as many points as you possibly can. Vadley escapes the pressure. He fumbled the ball, and that is going to get scooped up by the Stallions, so defense comes up huge for the Stallions. As that is... Wait a minute. Oh, that is Doug Costin? I'm gonna... I think it's gonna be Costin. Costin. As he recovered it. Huge play by the Stallions defense. To come up with that. Number 96 knocked it out, I believe. That's Willie Henry or Jordan Thompson. Why do they have so many duplicate numbers? That makes no sense. So that would have been huge if the Maulers could potentially go up 14-3 in the second quarter. A bad turnover, bad teams seem to have these more often. Yeah. I mean, it is the USFL. It's not like you're playing in the NFL, but like there is still mistakes like that. See, rolled out right, escaped the pressure, and then he fumbled the ball. Yes, it was a sack and a fumble. So he was escaping pressure. I believe it was a sack and a fumble. But I'm pretty sure it should have been a sack as well. Yeah, this play-by-play says Vadley steps back to pass. Vadley sacked at Birmingham 11 for -5 yards. Vadley fumbles forced by Willie Henry, recovered by Birmingham. So, yes, that was a sack and a fumble. You've got the Stallions defense on DraftKings. Okay. They've got early touchdown, but now that big fumble to prevent them from going into an even bigger hole. Down maybe 14-7. But instead, just 7-3. Sorry, 14-3 I meant. So huge play for the Stallions and their defense. Oh, you're welcome. And the reason I made a weird face right there is because when I put my water cup down, I went like that, and I must have moved it too quickly. So, a bunch of water splashed up. Jamar Smith, deep shot, double coverage, intended for Victor Bolden again. It looked like that same play, but that is safety over the top. Here's the replay as, yeah, that was a sack and a fumble. This time, the Maulers knew how to play that deep ball to Victor Bolden. 2nd and 10 at their own 11-yard line. Jamar Smith has a little trouble with the sack, and he's going to go down at his own 1 or 2 yard line, depending on the spot, to bring up 3rd down. As 3rd and 18. As now the Maulers defense comes up big. It was a high snap. Jamar Smith did a really good job just to get a hand on it and prevent it from going into the end zone. But by the time he got the ball and looked up to pass, he had a defensive lineman in his face and went down for the sack. So now 3rd and 18 as they're actually going to throw. I would just... Oh, there's CJ Marble in the game for the first time. As over the middle, there's a shot intended for either Osiris Mitchell or I don't know who the other receiver was. But that falls incomplete and brings up 4th and 18. So defenses have ruled the second quarter after having 10 points scored in the first quarter. And I would have ran the ball there, so you have a little bit of space to punt the ball. As he's kicking from the very back of his end zone. That is a good punt. From the back of his end zone to the opposite, to the Maulers' 45-yard line. And this time they're actually able to tackle. And there's... I was just about to say no flags, but then so the official go running. And no flags, so... Much better special teams here for the Breakers. Dang it, the Stallions. So now, The Maulers are going to get the ball back again. A very back and forth second quarter with defenses coming up big, as we have not had a drive get a first down yet this second quarter, or go more than 2 minutes. We've had a 1-yard Mauler drive on 3 plays, which took a minute 24. We had a 3-play 4-yard drive, which took a minute and 40 for the Stallions. A 3-play 2-yard drive, which took a minute and 17 seconds for the Maulers. And a 3-play negative 8-yard minute and 106 drive for the Stallions. So defenses have really ruled the second quarter after both teams were able to get on the board in the first quarter. So nobody's been eliminated from postseason contention yet. The Maulers? No, maybe not. I'm not sure. The Stars are 3-3. They play later today. With a loss, I think the Gamblers would be eliminated. So if the Stars beat the Gamblers, that may eliminate... No. But I'm pretty sure that would eliminate the Gamblers. Vadley to throw. And that is out to Daniel, a fullback, who gets 4 yards. But... Wait. Let me see this for a second again. So right now, you've got the Generals who clinched a playoff spot. Or in the South, sorry. You've got the Stallions who are 6-0. You've got the Breakers who are 5-2. They got a win last night. The Bandits who are 3-4. They lost yesterday. And then you got the Gamblers who are 1-5. Maybe. I'm not sure. There's London with running room up to the 27-yard line. As the Stallions' defense is, as we just got our first down of the second quarter, the Stallions' defense has not been that good at stopping the run. And there's an example of stopping the run. So 2nd and 9. London now 11 carries for 74 yards and a touchdown. As there's some kind of pre-snap penalty. Let's see if it's on the Maulers or the Stallions. False start on the Maulers, as that's going to back them up 5 yards. So 2nd and 9. Alright, so the Stallions jumped. Then once... So DeMarcus Gates, their outside linebacker, who's also really good as an edge rusher, he jumped, but he got back before then the Maulers jumped, as the Maulers just completed a pass for about 5 yards. And then once the Maulers jumped, because they were trying to get 5 yards, because if you move when somebody's offsides, it's I forget what that's called. It might be encroachment or neutral zone infraction. Neutral zone infraction, I think. Vadui with a wobbly pass intended for number 7. Let me check who that is. That is Davion Hardaway. As that was actually caught on the sideline by a Fox reporter for the USFL. As now, in an attempt to make this a touchdown game, the Maulers will kick a field goal, which is good. A 43-yard attempt by the Maulers. Whoops. I was supposed to be adding 3 points. The Stallions are going to get the ball back after the commercial break because the Maulers just kicked a field goal to make it a 10-7 game. So the Stallions will receive the kickoff in a second after their commercial break with 8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Stallions, except for one drive, have had poor field position. I'm trying to remember about that now, but I think so. You know, a lot of the time they've started inside their own 20. Let's see. First quarter, they started at their own 25. And their own 22, okay. So, not amazing, but, like, sort of average. I think average for the USFL would probably be more in the 30s. Then Birmingham 4, so at their own 4, that's not very good. At their own 11, okay. So their best starting field position was at their own 25. But yes, you're correct about that. They've had poor field position just about all game. I didn't see what happened that led to them getting the ball at their own 4. But because, like, I was looking over here. I forgot what I was looking at. I may have been looking to see if Garrett Groshek was active. And then I didn't realize what happened. And why they got the ball. Alright, so now the Stallions will receive the kick in 1 second. And now that is kicked away. Fielded by number 20. Victor Bolden's usually their kick returner. I don't know who number 20 is. But now that's their best starting field position of the day at the 31 or 32. Oh, number 20 is Tony Brooks James. But, what was I saying? Oh, that's their best starting field position of the day. That's what I was saying. So 1st and 10 with 8 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first half. Alright, so 1st and 10 as the Stallions take the field. 8 minutes and 15 seconds left. Jamar Smith in at quarterback, as he's been quarterback the whole game so far. Bo Scarborough is the back, as they're going to hand it to Scarborough. And he's going to go up the right side, plow forward for 4. So, showing the Jamar Smith completions and yards comparison, started 2 for 2 with 54 yards. So that was that deep ball to Victor Bolden, but now has not completed a pass since that first drive, or I believe that's the first drive they're talking about. 2nd and 6 at their own 35 as another handoff to Scarborough. This time is not going to go anywhere, may have even lost a yard. So now 3rd and 6 for the Stallions. Again at their own 35. They're 1 for 5 on 3rd down conversions today. Smith to throw. There's a throw over the middle and complete. There's number 8. I don't know who his name is. I thought that was going to get intercepted. He threw it into very tight coverage. And somehow came away with it. As number 8, oh, that's Michael Dearest. I've said his name before on some of these streams. Alright, so 1st and 10 now at their own 45-yard line. As there's play action, Smith escapes the pressure. And was going to run. But he got taken down for a loss of 3 or 4 yards. That was a critical catch, yeah, definitely. To avoid the interception, here's the camera. Nope, that's the other play. As Jamar Smith was going to take off and run, but as soon as he saw that the defensive back coming at him, he should have thrown it away instead of losing 3 yards. But yeah, to move the sticks, there's a quick throw to Osiris Mitchell, who's a huge 6'5" receiver. But to get the first down and to avoid the interception, but definitely a good grab there by Dearest. And now another throw and completion to Osiris Mitchell, as both Scarborough, with some mad running, gets to the 35-yard line of the Maulers. Stallions moving rather quickly. This time Jamar Smith rolls out right. There's a throw intended for number 13. I don't know who that is. That is Thomas, I mentioned before. And that was knocked away. Thomas. That is Jeffrey Thomas, a wide receiver out of Miami. This drive, 7 plays, 34 yards, has taken 3 minutes and 27 seconds so far. And a timeout is called by, I'm not sure who. Maybe there was no timeout, but there was some kind of stoppage. Let me check. Timeout number 1 by the Maulers. Okay. So now this would be good for the Stallions, if they can potentially get a touchdown here and tie this game up before the half, or even just Just tied up. Even if it's like 13-10 at the half, they've shown they're a great second half team. I think 3 would be their all-time, like, their first half low. Let me check really quickly. Alright, I'm checking the first half low. They scored 7 points in the opener against the Generals in the first half. They scored 13 in the first half against the Gamblers. They scored 10 the first half against the Breakers. They scored 7 the first half against the Bandits. They scored 14 the first half against the Stars. And last week they scored 13 the first half against the... what was I saying? Oh, against the Panthers last week. They start with the ball second half too, so this drive is against the worst team in the league is very important. Yeah, I didn't realize they started with the ball. I mean, thinking about it, yeah, they do. But, But yeah, so, especially because they could make... Oh, what am I saying? Yeah, they could make this 10-10 and then go out and score another touchdown right after the break. Make it 17-10. So, yes, this is a big possession for the Stallions. There's a swing pass to CJ Marable. I believe that's the first time he's touched a ball today. For about 3 yards. Yep, first time he's touched a ball. 1 catch for 3 yards. Third and 7 at the Maulers' 32-yard line. Both running backs on the field, Marble and Scarborough. Jamar Smith to throw over the middle, complete to number 8, Michael Dearest, for another first down. Stallions are moving the ball much better than they were before. In the second quarter, now effectively moving, getting a lot of first downs. Now, another first down for the Stallions, 1st and 10. Scarborough, I thought Smith kept it for a second. He tried to go outside, but was instead taken down by number 55 of the Maulers. Let me check who that is. That is Zane Zandier. Hopefully I said his name correctly. As that is one thing I have noticed with Scarborough, when he tries to break it outside, or just escape something, he makes a big loop, and if he's not able to get around there, and get the corner, he could definitely be in some trouble. 2nd and 15, Smith to throw. He's going to take off and run. He's got some space ahead of him before he is forced out of bounds and tackled out of bounds. But again, Zane Zandier, I don't know. Hopefully I'm saying his name correctly. Third and 4, with 2 minutes and 27 seconds remaining in the second quarter. As Jamar Smith has ran a lot more in the first part of the season, 19 carries for 101 yards in the first 3 weeks. And weeks 5 and 6, only 3 carries for, I believe that said 19 yards. Smith takes a shot at the end zone. Touch. No. Michael Deers dropped it. He had it for a second, and then he dropped it to bring up 4th and 4. So now, I'm thinking they're going to settle for a field goal try. Yep. Field goal kicker Brandon Aubrey made a 27-yarder before, this time on for 36. To cut the lead to 4 points and make it 10-6. And it is good. 10-6. Maulers still leading. But good job to get points there by the Stallions. So 2:03 remaining. Now for the Maulers, I think you try to put something together here before the half. And I mean, I understand the Stallions are a second half team. But I think still, if you can get a big lead, or not like huge, but a sizable lead going into the half. And then, I mean, your defense has been pretty good. Like, they haven't been horrible. But, so they've been decent. So I think you try to get as many points as you can and build a lead as big as you can before the half. So 2 minutes and 3 seconds remaining, as they're definitely going to have enough time. As remember, the clock stops on first downs, like in college, in the USFL, within 2 minutes of each half. As not sure what happened there. He went to go kick it off and kick it away, but then he stopped for some reason. Don't know what happened there. Alright, let's see. Try number 2. Successful. Okay, good job. Fielded at their own 3-yard line. Very good kick there. And now trying to make some people miss. There was unblocked defenders before brought down by DeMarcus Gates, just shy of the 25-yard line at the 23 or 24-yard line. So now we hit the 2-minute warning with 10 minutes and 6 with 10 minutes and 6 seconds. With a score of 10-6, I was trying to say. The Maulers trying to extend their lead before the half, because they're going to have the ball. They're going to officially mark that at their own 23-yard line. So now, they could potentially make this a 17-6 game. I mean, I know the Stallions are a really, really good second-half team. But it would still be pretty good, because I think I said their season low in the first half was 7. Now, they've held them to 6 points so far. So, I mean, the defense, it hasn't been awful. I mean, I believe their defense, like, isn't that great to begin with. But playing against the best team in the USFL, they've definitely been pretty good. Defensively, the Maulers are the 5th worst, or 5th best defense, or 4th worst, giving up 20.5 points per game. And again, they're 5th with 287.7 total yards per game. And name my favorite NFL player. I don't know. That's really tough. There's a lot of really, really good and likable players in the NFL. I'll get to answer in 1 second. 1st and 10. There's starting off the run with Garrett Groshek, who gets nothing to bring up 2nd and 10. But my favorite NFL player, I would probably have to go with someone from my favorite team, the Giants, and I'd probably go with Saquon Barkley. I mean, he hasn't been great, except for his rookie season. He's had injuries, a not good offensive line, but overall, I would say he's probably my favorite player. New sub, let's go Stallions. One, thank you for subscribing, and I think they have a good chance in this game. I mean, they are down, but they're definitely a second half team. Birmingham has 3 timeouts, so may get the ball back. I would try to. I mean, the clock is at 1:49, so as there's another draw play. Are they not trying to score? Or are they just trying to run out the clock? Because now the clock stops again. Yep, they called a second timeout. So the Maulers, I think they're just trying to run out the clock. But now for the Stallions, they're trying to get the ball back because they've just spent another timeout to bring up 3rd and 8. Nice. He's a pretty good running back, not gonna lie. He's good when healthy. I think he could definitely return to his rookie form. And I think the Giants did a lot with the offensive line, and it's not going to be brutal like it was last year. And it's going to help him stay healthy, 1. And 2, it may actually open up some rushing lanes for him to run through. So, I definitely think it's a possibility for him to return to his rookie form. Here's another run, this time with London, and he's going to get the first down. So let's see what the Stallions try to do with their timeout, if they're going to spend it, but the clock does stop because he did get a first down. Let's see. They did not spend their final timeout, so now the clock... I think the Maulers, they're just trying to run the ball, and if they get a big run, great. Then they'll go try to score, but otherwise they're just trying to run out the clock, which makes no sense. But that's what they're trying to do, it appears. London runs somebody over, getting a gain of 6 or 7. Second and 4, now 50 seconds remain in the second quarter, or first half, whichever way you want to put it. 2nd and 4, here is another run with London, and he's going to get the first down, so the clock will stop with 37 seconds left. Now you're just shy of midfield. I mean, you've ran the ball pretty effectively. London's almost got 100 yards in just the first half. You've had a pretty good drive so far, but they're not in any rush. I mean, I would at least throw the ball here. Maybe 20 yards down the field, maybe get into field goal range. I mean, the worst thing that happens is it gets intercepted and you just got to tackle. But instead, they're just going to keep running the ball, this time with Garrett Groshek, as he gets for 2 yards up to midfield. And that should bring them to the end. Yep, that's going to bring them to the end of the first half. With 10-6, the Maulers over the Stallions, so I really think they should have tried to score there. I mean, They got the ball with what? How much time left? Well over a minute. They got the ball with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left. It was a minute 55 by the time the kickoff was over. So they definitely needed to potentially try to put something together. That was a really poor 2-minute drill. I'm not even sure if they were trying to make it a 2-minute drill. If it was, that was the worst 2-minute drill I've ever seen. But I'm pretty sure they were just trying to run the ball, see if they got anything to prevent the Stallions from getting the ball back. But, I mean, that was really bad. I mean, you have 2 minutes and 3 seconds, and a minute and 55 seconds. Go score. I mean, you have a really good... You've got a really good team you're playing against, who's undefeated. They're a really good second-half team, especially. But now, if you can make this 17-6, even if they come back and score on another drive, if you can make it 17-9, you still have, I like your chances a lot better than if you're leading 10-6. Alright, so we've reached halftime. I'm going to go take a very short break. And I will, I'll be right back in 1 second. So, I'm gonna go take a very short break, and I will see you when I get back in about a minute. All right, we are back. Thank you for staying with us. Um, you like the 49ers? Okay, cool. What do you think you guys should do with Jimmy Garoppolo? Would you prefer Trey Lance or like who should start next year, and two, if you say Trey Lance, who should what should you guys do with Jimmy Garoppolo? So now you want Trey Lance? Okay, I would too. I mean, I get he sat on the bench for 1 year, and there's been a few other players like Aaron Rodgers who've sat on the bench, but I mean, it's Trey Lance's time to lead the 49ers. So now, uh, one second. Just cut Garoppolo. We can't afford him. I mean, they should. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. That they should just get rid of him in some way because it should be Trey Lance's time in San Francisco. So now, so far, this game's been lower scoring. The Stallions have been held to 6 points. I thought they would score more than they. The Stallions were held to a season low 6 points. Against the Maulers defense that has really been middle of the pack, nothing special. Now that I say that, I'm wondering who's the best defense in the USFL, which I'll check as I talk. But their offense, obviously, I would have liked to see a much better 2-minute drill. I mean, you can't even call that a 2-minute drill. Because they were just trying to run out the clock. And, but in terms of points allowed per game, the best defense is the Generals. You're a Cowboys fan, and your backup running back is better than your starter. A starter makes up 1/10 of what Zeke really does. Unbelievable. I assume you're talking about backup Tony Pollard, because he's really good for a backup. He could really have a starting role somewhere. And I mean, with Zeke, you guys gave him a ton of money. You gave him 6 years for $90 million. And I mean, he had this, I believe it was like one really good year. So first half stats, the Maulers dominated on the ground. Each defense with at least a few sacks. Maulers have 21 more total yards. Passing yards, no one over 70. Highest team, 66 for the Stallions, 21 for the Maulers. Rushing yards, 109 for the Maulers, 43 for the Stallions. Pollard is unbelievable. He just needs his opportunity. Yeah, I agree. He's a very good backup running back. He should be a starter. So he should be a starter somewhere in the league. And I mean, it just seems like he's, I don't know what, like, how to explain it, but I understand what you're saying. And when he gets his opportunity, when the time comes, he's gonna be really, really good. And then I mean, something the Cowboys should do, is use, like, a little bit more of, like, a committee. Instead of having, like, a lead running back. I mean, you could still have Elliott be, like, your top guy, but maybe use a little bit more of a split. Oh, I just realized he should be a starter for Dallas. I agree. Now, there's a touchback as the Stallions will get the ball at their own 25. And, I always put a poll out where you guys can vote. Uh-oh. So I always say something like, Maulers up 10-6 at the half, who wins? But I completely forgot, so I'm just gonna put one out now, and you guys can vote, and I'll end it when we get to the 12:30 mark of the third quarter. Like, Bo Scarborough almost with a touchdown run. What was I saying? There's another run with Scarborough. Getting about 3 this time. Alright, so there's that poll. Make sure to vote on that. I get what you guys are saying at the Cowboys. But don't just give up on them. I understand that. Like, I'm not saying I would just completely not use Zeke, but here's Scarborough for a run of 2. But, like, use Tony Pollard more. And use more similar to how the Browns use Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Do a little bit more of a split instead of having a clear number 1 running back and then a clear number 2 running back. Do a little bit more of like a committee or split, however you want to word it. Stallions almost broke on. Like, on that run, you mean? Because Scarborough was very close. If he broke that one tackle, he was gone. 3rd and 5, Smith over the middle, knocked away at the line of scrimmage. Alright, sir. So you've got 25 more seconds to vote on that poll as the clock's currently running. I said when 12:30 remains in the third quarter. So make sure to vote on that if you haven't already. If you have an updated score prediction, let me know in the comments. I would probably go 23-16. That's what I'm going to go, 23-16. As it's a fake! That's the second time we've seen this, and it is going to be a huge gain, and it is a touchdown for the Stallions. Wow! We saw that in the Breakers Stallions game, or was it the Breakers Generals game? Where it's a fake punt, and the up man takes it. It got snapped right to him, but everyone's watching the punter. And he acts like it goes way over his head. And that opens up a huge hole. And Wow. That opened up a huge hole for him to run through. Alright, so we officially hit the 12:30 mark, so I'm going to end this poll. That was a crazy, crazy play. Second time we've seen that. One time, the other time was the Breakers. Huge play for the Stallions. Great play and fake. Yeah, that was a great fake by the punter. So I have to change this to 13 now as the Stallions converted on their extra point. Yeah, that was a one good play call. You're in the spot in the field where even if you don't get it, it's not the end of the world. And two, I mean, what a fake by the punter. And then, I believe both times that has been done with a linebacker. Holly for the Stallions. Bobby Holly. Oh, he's actually their fullback. A lot of these teams, I don't realize they have fullbacks because they never use them. Bobby Holly is their fullback, and then they have a safety, Nate Holley, who's Holley, who's a safety. Oh, okay. So now, I was not expecting them to score that quickly. So, with my updated score prediction now, it's 13-10. Let me see. That may shift the momentum too. Yeah, that's... you would definitely think so, because something like that, that's a huge momentum swing. I mean, sometimes it's a small play, and other times it's a huge play like this. But yeah, definitely it's going to swing the momentum in the direction of the Stallions. So, 13-10 now. Yeah, actually, I'll still go 23-16, but I also think it could be a little bit more high scoring, and we could see it be like 26, maybe 30. I'll go 26. I think it could also... I'm going to stick with my 23-16 prediction, but I think it could also be like 26... I don't know, 26-20 or 26 something like that. 26-21. He just fielded that in the end zone, and he's going to bring it out. Interesting decision. And he's only going to get up to the 26, so I mean, he did get 1 yard. More than he would have on a touchback. So, 1st and 10 for the Maulers. And this time it's a give to Garrett Groshek, who makes a few people miss, or not necessarily miss, but like, is able to get around a few people, and gets forward for 6 yards. Let's bring up 2nd and 4. So 2nd and 4, I would not be surprised to see another run, and we are going to see another run. Groshek with room gets forward for this time for 6 yards. Actually, they were both for 6 yards. as they're going back to the fake punt. They were just counting something on him, not sure what. So, 1st and 10. Alright, I'm not sure what they were showing about that fake punt. Here's a shovel option. Vadeli had the option to keep it, or he could pitch it outside to Garrett Groshek. They weren't going to get anything anyway. He decided to give it off to Groshek, who wasn't really able to do anything. So 2nd and 11. Just get the snap off. Here's a give to London, who's going to get stopped in the backfield for about a loss of 1 to 2 yards. New Jersey's definitely the best team in the league now. Birmingham defense not as good. The Stallions' defense is good. They're underrated a lot. 1 second. I think you could really make that argument. But I would not be comfortable saying there's a throw and catch out to, I don't know who that is, number 10. I'll get to the comments in 1 second. Number 10 is Isaiah Henney. But what I was saying about the Generals is I'm not necessarily comfortable saying they're the best team in the league until they can get a DeAndre Johnson back from injury. Because they just won with Luis Perez at quarterback. But now, what was I saying? Oh, but Luis Perez, I still think DeAndre Johnson is the better quarterback and better suited for that offense. Especially because of his mobility. But yeah, Perez played the whole game yesterday, and he was pretty good. But I think the offense can reach their full potential with DeAndre Johnson. And the other comment, how do you feel about Cordell Flott getting drafted to the Giants? I mean, I don't really know a ton about him. I know he plays corner out of LSU. I mean, corner is it's a good thing to get a positional need because, I mean, people may say, well, the Giants don't really need corner. I mean, yeah, you kind of do, because you just cut James Bradbury, and then you've got Adoree Jackson and Darnay Holmes as your other two corners, and Holmes is more of a slot. So, I mean, it definitely is. I definitely think it's pretty good for the Giants, as corner did become a need after Bradbury got cut. Alright, so, 1st and 10 for the Stallions. Right? I forget where we are. Yeah, 1st and 10 for the Stallions. 13-10 Stallions leading with 9 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 5 seconds left on the play clock. Play clock winding down now. 2 seconds. They do get the snap off. This time it's a give to Scarborough, who gets about 2 yards. As they're showing the Maulers' defense today, 3 sacks, 5 quarterback hits or something like that. They're something I couldn't read that quickly. Here is another run with Bo Scarborough, who gets forward for about 3 yards to bring up 3rd and 5. So, I would think they would go to the air here, but I mean, going on the ground is still. Alex McGough enters at quarterback. Was he quarterback the entire drive? No, it was Jamar Smith. Okay, but wait, what's happening? Is Alex McGough is going out as a wide receiver in. They have 2 quarterbacks on the field, and Alex McGough is going as a receiver. And they're going to throw it to Alex McGough too far. Wow. Are they trying to make him into Taysom Hill? Now playing a wide receiver? There was a flag thrown, and it's pass interference, so Alex McGough draws a pass interference penalty. Wow. I've never seen that. The only quarterback I've ever seen go, run like that. Not in, the Wildcat formation where it's something like that. Wow. But yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, he also they're gonna keep him out there at receiver. Wow. I mean, he's a good runner, so why not make him a receiver too? Taysom Hill 2.0. And he's gonna go for McGough again, who dives for it but can't get it. Yeah, there was a flag on that play, like the previous play. The only team I see doing the Wildcat is the Titans with Derrick Henry. Well, it's not as common in the NFL. It's more of a thing teams do in college and stuff like that. As Alex McGough, Jamar Smith threw a little bit high for Alex McGough. So now Alex McGough is apparently a wide receiver. Okay. But you see more teams doing it in college than the NFL. They were throwing McGough a little bubble screen, but Jamar Smith just had a wild throw that went way too high. So now that brings up 3rd and 10 after 2 incompletions. Just get the snap off over the middle and intercepted off the hands of the wide receiver. I couldn't tell who it was. Huge play for the Maulers defense to prevent the first down and get the ball back. That may have been intended for Alex McGough. I'm not sure. I didn't think that was him. Maybe it was. It was intended for Alex McGough. Okay, maybe he could still use a little bit more practice at wide receiver. College does the most craziest plays. Sometimes there is really crazy plays in college football. As London is swung down after a gain of nothing or no gain. Yup, interception off the hands of Alex McGough. 2nd and 10. Here's a run with London again, up for a yard and a half, maybe 2 yards, depending on where they're going to spot him. You think this drive results in a field goal? Okay, I could see that. I mean, they're at their own. No, they're at the Stallions' 19-yard line. 3rd and 8. I could definitely see that. And Vadui almost lost the ball again, but is instead sacked. Is instead sacked. But yes, you were correct about that field goal, as it is now tied up at 13. It is 13-13 as the Stallions and Maulers are now tied up. And now let's see what they do with Alex Magoo now, because if they try to go back to him, I mean, I do think they were trying to force the ball to him a little bit. So, I mean, I don't hate the idea of having him out there as a receiver. But I do think they were trying to force the ball to him a little bit. And it was a little unnecessary. Alright, so has Hunter Thedford, the tight end, done anything? As he's the tight end for the Maulers. I'm checking. I don't really think I've said his name like once or twice. Okay, maybe I haven't. Nope, nothing. Yep. They've only completed 4 passes. Oh, because they've only thrown the ball 8 times. So, no, he has not really done anything. Wait, is he really your cousin? Wow, that's cool. That is cool. Wow. Hunter Thedford is your cousin. That is pretty cool. Here is Tony Brooks James on the return. Finds some space in open field and gets up to the 45-yard line. Do you think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback? I think he could be. That this season is is his year. Um, if he is, if he gets hurt, that they didn't pick up his 5th-year option, and here's a run with Scarborough. I'll get back to the comments in 1 second. There's some powerful running up to the over midfield. So Daniel Jones, if he gets hurt, they didn't pick up his 5th-year option because they want to know what they have this year. They don't want to keep waiting on him, and especially because there's a very good quarterback draft class coming up. So I mean, he could have a good year, then they'll decide to maybe keep him and re-sign him. Here's another run with Scarborough. And they're going to give him a first down. I think it was a first down. But if he's not good, then they're going to go draft another quarterback and not re-sign him. Very good return to the 46-yard one. Yeah, that was a really good return. He signed with Detroit, then didn't make the 52-man roster, so he got dropped to the USFL. That is cool to say that your cousin plays for, like, plays football. That is pretty cool. Alright, so now we've got a 1st and 10 for the Stallions. So now, so I forgot what I was saying now. There's a bug climbing up my tripod on the camera. That is great. Okay, off. Oh, and he goes back down. If only he would go away. That would be really cool. I blew him off, and he's gone. Okay. Alright, he's... That bug is gone. That's like the 3rd time I've had a bug. One time there was a bug over there, one time there was a bug over there, and now there's just one on the tripod. Get your question in 1 second. There's running by Tony Brooks James, the 3rd-string running back. Very good run. He's also their kick returner. That was... Looked like it might have been a designed inside handoff, but he decided to go outside because there was really nowhere to go inside. More play-by-play. I'm glad you're enjoying this. At 1 second. There's another run with Tony Brooks James. this time gets nowhere. But I've been doing a USFL live watch party like this once a week. And then also tomorrow, I'm not sure if you are a hockey fan, or any of you are hockey fans, but for the Rangers and the Hurricanes Game 7, I'm doing a live watch party just like this tomorrow, which will start at 7:50. So that's hockey. But USFL, deep shot to the end zone, too far for Jaden Thomas. Is that his name? Jaden Thomas? Jeffrey Thomas. Best run today. Yeah, I think that was also their farthest, like, best. Yeah, that's what you mean. But CJ Marble, is that him over there on the sideline? I'm not sure. He's active for this game, but he's not at a single carry. Over the middle and almost intercepted. That pass intended for, I believe that was Osiris Mitchell. Would you take the Stallions at minus 6.5? I don't know. I'm not really into that kind of stuff, but they're about to take a. Yep, they took a 3-point lead. Like for this game, you mean, or what do you mean by that? But what was I saying? You're doing good. You need to icons of who's got the ball and down and distance. Okay. Thank you for your recommendations. I will try to implement that for next week. As, I'll do that, work on that later. And, hopefully, I see you next week and you guys can tell me how it looks. Oh, and next week I'm thinking of doing Saturday at 3 or 3 Eastern time, the Breakers against the Stallions. Hey, a bug is returned. Smith throwing the ball high all day has to settle down. Yes, definitely. He's thrown. That's something I've noticed with him. Screen passes, especially. He's thrown the ball high. He threw one high to Alex Magoo. He's thrown screen passes high to Victor Bolden before. He seems to have that problem. Should I take plus 6.5 in this game? So, essentially you're asking, will the margin of victory be larger than 6.5 points? I don't know, just, I'm not like an expert or anything like that. One second. 1st and 10 for the Maulers. Here's a run with Garrett Groshek for no gain. But I mean, they're up by 3 right now. They're a second half team. So I definitely think it could end up being a touchdown game. I think it could end up being a touchdown game. But, like, I'm no expert or anything like that. But, it could be. I mean, we're at the end of the 3rd quarter. So I gotta change that to quarter number 4 now. Hey. Okay, there we go. Quarter number 4. And I'll get to the rest of the comments in 1 second. I'm just going to put out a poll of who you guys will think will win. Um, so Stallions up 16-13 heading into the fourth. Who wins? So will you guys vote on that poll? I'm gonna. All right, the bug went over there. Nope, now he's circling back. Okay, this bug's really annoying. Um, so I think it can definitely be a touchdown game. Should you take the Maulers plus 5.5? So that means the margin of victory would be within 5 points or 5.5 points. I don't know. I think it's probably more likely to be the other one. More of a wider margin of victory. I mean, it's 3 points right now. I don't think the score stays the same at all. I still think the Stallions are going to win the game. But, so as I was saying, I still think the Stallions are going to get the win. But I think it will be more likely that it's going to be the other one, the plus, or 6.5. Yes, follow Birmingham, biggest fan base. Or not necessarily they have the biggest fan base, but they definitely, it appears that way because they have all their games in Birmingham, and the fans only go to the games involving the hometown team, the Stallions. And I've also been, like, doing them because the Saturday night game typically works pretty well. And also, they typically put the Stallions in that time slot. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that Breakers Stallions tomorrow. Or, not tomorrow, next week, sorry. And then that's, I think, what I'll do next week. You would only take the Stallions on money line because they aren't playing that well. They usually surpass 25 points. So they need under 9 points to get there. Okay. So fourth quarter is about to start. Let me know if you think. I'm gonna end this poll in a minute or a few. Yeah, I'm gonna end this poll in like 10 seconds. So make sure to vote if you haven't already. If you have a score prediction, let me know. As there's a errant throw by Vadley, or it was really low. He got hit as he threw it, and that's gonna bring up 3rd and 9. All right, I'm gonna end this poll. If you've got a score prediction or didn't get to vote, just let me know in the comments. So now 3rd and 9. As now I lost where that bug went. I just don't want him crawling on all my stuff. Now, whatever. Alright, so now 3rd and 9. Vadley escapes pressure, but runs into some more. Dumps it off to Garrett Groshek, who's short of the first down. So now that's going to bring them just short, as they've still only attempted 10 pass attempts, completing 5 of them. 4th and 1. And it looks like they're going to go for this. They're definitely going to line up and go for this. Let's see if they actually do it. 4 of 12 on the season. Yes, they are going for it. Let's see if they actually snap it. And they do not actually snap it. They call their first timeout. So they lined up to go for it, tried to draw them off sides, but ended up not snapping the ball. And now they're going to punt it away. On 4th and 1. Birmingham will probably get a late touchdown. They have no offensive touchdowns today. Now that you say that, I've realized that. But, I mean, I really didn't realize that because, like, technically, it seems like it's an offensive touchdown, but it's really not. Because of how it was technically a special teams touchdown with the fake punt. So, yeah, I would probably also expect them to score an offensive touchdown, as you said. As Victor Bolden is no longer their kick returner or punt returner, it appears, as that was Jeffrey Thomas, number 13, returning the punt, or fielding the punt there, as he just called for a fair catch. But, Victor Bolden used to have that role, and apparently not anymore. So now, I forget what I was saying now. I was gonna talk about Victor Bolden, how he doesn't really have a ton of action. Only targeted 3 times, did have that one long ball, or long catch at the beginning of the game, but only one catch, 53 yards on 3 targets. Typically, he's targeted a lot more. Nice play-by-play now. Keep like this the rest of the game. You got 12 guys here watching you. Okay, thanks for the feedback. He had 25 yards to run, shouldn't have called for a fair catch. So for me, it's hard to tell how much space they have and where they are on the field when they don't go back to, like, that overhead view that they normally do. And instead, they go from, like, back behind where the punter was. It's cool, but sort of annoying. But, I mean, I don't really know how much room he had to run there. It seemed like there was a defender somewhat close, but if he was able to get that guy to miss, or he got blocked because there was another Stallion player down there, I definitely think he could have maybe gotten some yardage. As the Stallions are really a fourth quarter team, as they've got the most points scored, the fewest points allowed, the fewest turnovers with 0. But that's also because they've been sitting on the ball. Deep shot down the field for... and that is dropped by Jeffrey Thomas. He had it right in his hands. It was another great throw by Jamar Smith, and Thomas could just not haul it in. Put it right there where it needed to be. That could have been potentially a touchdown if he was able to outrun those two Maulers. That could have been a huge play. Here's a run with Bo Scarborough bouncing it outside and getting about 7 yards to bring up 3rd and 3. So here, actually 3rd and 1. It was a 9-yard run. I thought he went out of bounds a little bit sooner. So I think they could definitely go either way here, run or pass. I would probably call a run. I mean, you haven't necessarily been great. It is a run. Scarborough dives forward and gets about 2.5 yards for the first down. Because they haven't been great completing passes through the air. 6 for 20 now. It should be 7 for 21. Because of the drop. But, it definitely hasn't been great. So I agree with that call of a run right there, especially because you've only completed 6 passes the whole day, and you've got 52 of your 86 yards in one play. There's Scarborough with his 21st carry of the day, and up for 2 yards. So Scarborough, he's just taken over the role that CJ Marble had before. Because before, Marble was their lead running back. Jamar Smith yet to complete a pass in the second half. But Scarborough's just come in. Now he's ran 21 times today. Play action, rolls out right. Oh, wow, that was so bad it ended up good. Yeah, that pass, it was so bad, it went off the hands of the defender. Off the hands of the intended receiver. And then wide receiver Sage Surratt ended up catching it. But yeah, that pass, Surratt is actually a tight end. Sorry. But another pass Jamar Smith threw that was just way too high. Someone in the comments pointed that out before. Scarborough trying to find a way in, finally does, and gets forward for about 7 yards. Will you stream the next game, like this week, like the one starting at 6 o'clock today? The Stars Gamblers game, I will not be streaming that game. I've been doing one USFL game a week. Next week's will be the the Stallions against the Breakers. I'm pretty sure. That's what I have in my head as I'm thinking of doing right now. But also tomorrow there's a stream that I mentioned before with the Rangers Hurricanes for hockey. So, Stars Gamblers, which is later tonight. No. But later, tomorrow, yes. So the Rangers Hurricanes is tomorrow, and then the Stallions Breakers game is next week. I'll be doing that one. And I will do multiple games a week. Like for the playoffs, obviously I will do all those games, which is just 2, plus the championship game the following week. But I've been doing one stream or like one watch party like this per week for the USFL. But like obviously I would do other stuff. World Cup coming up. World Cup is coming up. Are you going to stream those games? Yes, I'm going to. Specifically for the US, because that is where I live. But yes, I am going to do watch parties for those games as well. But the World Cup is not till November this year, because it is played in Qatar and it's like 1,000,000,000 degrees there in the summer. But still, what makes no sense is they can hold an intercontinental playoff in Qatar in the summer, but yet they have to wait for the World Cup till November. That makes no sense. So the Stallions will clinch a playoff berth with a win today. There was a run that was stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Can't see the Maulers scoring a touchdown today. They have scored a touchdown. Like, you mean another touchdown? There's Smith finding tight end Sage Surratt for a pretty big gain on third down. Yeah, he floated that pass right in there, exactly. Sometimes he's very, very accurate. Here's that formation they went back to. They went to last week and scored a touchdown on, with the 3 running backs all in like a fullback stance, also known as a 3-point stance. But this time they threw out of it. United States will not get past the first round of games. I hope they do. I think they have a group that they could if they really. What was I saying? Oh, I was saying how I think the U.S. could definitely get past the group because I feel like they have a favorable group and they could potentially get through it. But I don't think they're gonna win the group. If they do escape the group, they would definitely be the second place team. Yup, that was a first down. Here is Scarborough for a run of 4 yards, I believe, to bring up 3rd and 2. As Scarborough exits, as he's had a heavy workload today, 23 carries, and now 3rd-string running back Tony Brooks-James is in over. Wait, no, I think C.J. Marable's also in. I think I just saw him in the background. 3rd and 2. As C.J. Marable gets his first give and into the end zone for a touchdown, I believe. So they went back to that formation that they went to last week. That was good for them. And now they went back to it today. They threw a good pass out of it. And now they run for a touchdown with C.J. Marable on his first carry of the day. Go, Bo. He's had a good day today. And then, boom, strong run. Yeah, that was a very strong run by C.J. Marable, able to get into the end zone for the touchdown. So now, looking to make it a 10-point game. As remember, a 9-point game in the USFL is still a 1-possession game. And they are able to make it a 10-point game. Whoops. I took a point away from the Stallions instead of gave them one. So 23-13 in favor of the Stallions. Let me just check the time remaining. There is 8 minutes and 33 seconds, so still time for them, for the Maulers to come back, but they haven't really looked super strong in the second half, as they've had a punt, a field goal, a punt, and that is it. So, I think the Stallions will close them out here. The Maulers are down by 10, so it is a 2-possession game. Because there's no 4-point conversion, only a 3-point conversion, so the most you could score on a touchdown is 9. Do you do any sport? Uh, 1 second. I'm just gonna drink before I answer the question. Do you do any sport card collecting? I have football cards and baseball cards and a few hockey cards from when I was younger, but I haven't done any collecting recently. Um, there might be a turnover at this drive. Often happens with Birmingham. You definitely know a lot about like all these different stats and stuff. Um, but they do have a plus 5 turnover margin, as they're showing that formation they went to last week, and they gave it to this. That time it was Bo Scarborough. This time it was CJ Marable for the touchdown. But the Stallions and Gamblers are tied in the turnover margin with a +5, and that leads the league. The worst turnover margin is, wow, that is bad. Is the Bandits with -10. Tops did an AAF set, so I don't think they're gonna do any spring. They will do any spring football. So one, are you a sports card collector? And two, there's a good kick return up to the 36, 37-yard line for the Maulers. And three, I don't think they're going to do any more spring football, as you said. I didn't even know they did an AAF set. But because there's just too much uncertainty, you don't know if they're going to last like that. Because there's just uncertainty with spring football leagues. You don't know how long they're going to last, if they're going to last, if they're even going to make it through the first season in the case of the AAF. Here's Vadley. Throws, knocked away by number 26 of the Stallions defense. That is Josh Shaw, a corner out of USC. He's one of the older players in the league at 30 years old. Here's 2nd and 10. Over the middle, there's a strike to number 3. Wow, big hit, but he didn't even go down from that. But something the Maulers and Vadley specifically, with him at quarterback, they are very good at coming back. They came back down, I believe it was 23-3 last week against the Breakers. They had a comeback win against the Gamblers, stuff like that. Here's Vadley, this time throwing outside too high for number 1. That is tight end. Wow. I'm not going to try to say his first name, because I'm pretty sure there's like a 100% chance I won't say that correctly, but Lynn is a tight end. Yes, you collect. You stopped collecting for many years, but restarted collecting with your kids. Cool. Second and 10, Vadley to throw for it. Escapes pressure. More pressure's in his face. Just heaves it down the field, but no one in the area. Seven minutes and 36 seconds remain in the fourth quarter, or in the game, whichever way you want to put it. There could potentially be overtime. I mean, you never know. We saw overtime last night with the Breakers and the Panthers. So now, coming out of the timeout, 3rd and 10. Coming out of the timeout. Third and 13, 3rd and 10, it is a draw play, give to Garrett Groshek. Why would you call that? You're down by 10 points. That makes no sense. And you're not even going to go for it. Okay. Oh, they're in field goal range. I did not realize that. A 58-yard attempt to make it a 7-point game. I'm not sure. I mean, you don't know with these kickers. They've been better of lately. It is good right down the middle. It looked like it may have curled left, but a 58-yard field goal is good to cut it to a 7-point game. It looked like it was going to curve left, but it ended up staying and went right in. Good kick. Back-to-back days, we've seen really, really good kicks. Last night we saw Cole Murphy make a 60-yarder, and now a 58-yarder. I'll get to the comments in 1 second. As we see Rivers, number 14. Ronald Rivers warming up on the sideline, so maybe he could come in to replace Vadui. Vadui hasn't played amazing, but I mean, he hasn't been horrible. Okay, maybe not great, but still pretty good. Like, I still don't see why you would replace Vadui, especially he's led your team on comebacks the 2 previous weeks. Why take him out now? Alright, here's a kickoff, and that is going to go into the end zone, almost out of the back of the end zone. It bounces out of the back of the end zone. I think this is going back to the sports card collecting. I think it helps to get to know players and stats. Kind of helps with gambling as well, definitely. Because you're not going to go place a bet on someone that you have no idea who they are. This is the Maulers' last chance. Maulers have to go for this 4th down. I would have gone for it, especially because it was a really long field goal. And, I mean, who really knows with these kickers? I would have gone for it. I would not have called that draw play. But, I mean, I guess looking back on it, it's not a bad idea they called it because they got him a little bit closer. They didn't want to take a sack to go back out of field goal range and then have to go for it on like 4th and 14. Here's a run with Tony Brooks-James. I'll get to the rest of the comments in 1 second. Stays in bounds before getting shoved out of bounds after a gain of 15. Good running there by Tony Brooks-James. 58-yard field goal, incredible for the USFL, and there was a 60-yard field goal yesterday. Exactly. Going back to going for it on 4th down, I also would have. I mean, it's not like it's 4th and like a mile. It's 4th and 6. I like the chances of it. Like, I don't love it. Like, I'm not going to go for it. Like, it's 4th and inches, but, like, I would have gone for it as well. And now, Maulers needs to stop here. Definitely. Obviously not a good start to the drive. Smith fires incomplete. Knocked away. Good pass breakup there. And you think Birmingham drives down, gets another field goal to make it 10 again. They should not be in any sort of rush. Put it that way. You could have potentially called interference there. Because number 2, I don't know who that is. Number 2 on the Maulers defense. Terrell Bonds. He was holding on to him. You could argue for call there. But, as you said, they should not be in any sort of rush. Jamar Smith, what did he do there? It looked like it was like a design quarterback run, but also had both Scarborough going maybe that you could do like a shovel option type thing. But he just decided to go back, and then there was a defender right there. So that was very, very strange. So now 3rd and 13. But going back to your comment about how they shouldn't be in any sort of rush, yeah, I agree. If they get a touchdown, I don't think they'll be complaining, but like, as long as they can make it a 2-score game again, I think they'll be pretty happy. This time, Smith over the middle. There's another high throw, but this time brought in by his gigantic receiver, Osiris Mitchell, who stands at 6'5", to bring up 4th and 6. So, not good for the Stallions. That is not what they wanted. They should have ran the ball a little bit more. They should not have gone to the air. That second play. So now 4th and 6, as the Stallions will punt it away. Maulers really come after him here. Not able to block it. And a fair catch is called for at their own 20-yard line. And Ronald Rivers takes the field at quarterback. Interesting. Maybe the Maulers feel they need a spark in the offense. I mean, I don't know. I mean, let me know in your let me know in the comments what your thoughts on that are. But Vad Lee has led you on comebacks back-to-back games. Why would you take him out? Here's Rivers with a quick throw to a receiver that was not looking, and another receiver that fell down. So, okay. Obviously not an ideal way to start your USFL career. So now 2nd and 10 with 4 minutes and 32 seconds, remaining. So now 2nd and 10 with, I just said the time, 4:32. At their own 21-yard line for the Maulers. Here's a draw play with London trying to go outside, nowhere. Not really going anywhere, as he gets 2. Now, they're going to throw the ball here on 3rd and 8. I still don't understand the decision to take out Vad Lee, unless he was hurt. 3rd and 9. Rivers throwing to the sideline complete. And now they've got a big 4th and 3 coming up. Good job commenting, enjoying it. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Vad Lee should have been left in. That was a duck thrown. He should have been. I mean, if you need a spark, like if you're down by like 15 points, but I mean you're down by 7, and Vad Lee's led you on to come back each of the last 2 games. 4th and 3. Rivers rolls out right, throws too low for number 10. Let's see, who's that? That was Isaiah Henney. I've said his name a few times now. These are bad teams. These bad teams just seem to continue calling bad plays like the Panthers and Gamblers. Yeah. I mean, the Panthers with that bad call a few weeks ago against the Stars. I mean, the play calling's been slightly improving. I didn't see a ton of the game yesterday, so I can't really comment on that. And then it just really doesn't make sense. I mean, like, are they trying to improve? So now 3 minutes and 12 seconds remain for the Stallions as they have the ball at the Maulers 28 yard line, sorry. Here's a run with Bo Scarborough, who gets forward for 2 yards. Second and 8. As expected, the Stallions are not in any type of rush. Here's a second and 8 run with Scarborough, who gets no gain. So now the Pittsburgh Maulers spend their final timeout with 2:26 remaining. And we've got a 3rd and 7 coming up. So now the question is, do you go to the air here, or do you go with go back to the ground and keep the clock moving? It seems like they're content to just kick a field goal here, as they've got kicker Brandon Aubrey warming up for a field goal on the sideline. So it seems like I just made a comment about that, or I just commented about that. Do you think the Stallions kick a field goal here and end it? Yes, I think they're gonna run this ball one more time. That'll bring them down to the 2-minute warning. Then on the 2-minute warning, they're gonna kick the field goal and make it a 10-point game. Here's the run with Scarborough, slipped in the backfield, and ends up losing about 1.5 yards. So still a makeable field goal. Obviously, does not make it any easier. And it's gonna bring us to the 2-minute warning. But it's not completely over. I mean, it seems that way, but it's not completely over, because you still have. It would make it a 10-point game. It's the Stallions' ball. They're going to kick a field goal. Or we think they're going to kick a field goal as we've hit the 2-minute warning. So, yeah, I think they're going to line up for a field goal. The Stallions, that is. They have the ball. And then kick a field goal to make it a 10-point game. So, that is what I think the plan is for the Stallions once we get out of the 2-minute warning. Oh, you've got 250 on Pittsburgh. I mean, there's still a chance, but it's unlikely. It's unlikely, but not impossible. So now they're winding up for... The Stallions wind up for a field goal here. It is 45 yards, so obviously not a guarantee. But with how good their kicker Brandon Aubrey's been, you would think he's probably going to make it. Let's see. 4th and 9, a 45-yard field goal. It is up and good. The holder did have a little bit of trouble with it. So now that makes it a 2-possession game. So now Vadley has to come in at quarterback. They have an 11-point comeback win Week 5 against Houston, which is the largest comeback in the USFL. They trailed by 10 today. Vadley must come in at quarterback. Good commentating. See you next weekend. Okay. Thank you for joining us for what you could. And I will see you in a future, hopefully see you on a future video or live stream. So thank you for watching. And I will see you next weekend. Or next time. And so now the coach is talking to Ronald Rivers. So is he going to come in at quarterback again? It doesn't make any sense though. So there's still a minute 55 remaining. It is a 2-score game, but it is not impossible. Yes, they did make the field goal. It is now 26-16. So it does appear as if Ronald Rivers is going to come in as the Maulers quarterback. It is returned. Good return. They got a good return. Okay, that's a start. As he tried to pop back up. And run for it. My total just went over 41.5. Thanks for making this a good day with excellent commentary. You're welcome. So now, a minute 48 remaining. As Ronald Rivers is the quarterback again, which makes, again, no sense. And he's just going to wind up and take a deep shot, but is too far for... I'm not sure how to say his name. Oh, it is Bailey Gaither. Sorry. So now, he's typically been their top receiver, but I haven't said his name a lot today at all. So now 2nd and 10, they don't need to be taking shots at the end zone, but they can't be running the ball for 2 yards. They should be taking like a few shots down the field. Rivers, again, just throws it away. Okay. That's a few short throws he's made. I believe 3 already. So I would think this would be... well, obviously they're going to throw the ball. I still disagree with the decision to have Ronald Rivers in here. I mean, it's not like it's a blowout game and you want to get your backup quarterback some experience and stuff like that. It's a close game that you could come back from. So I don't get it. Rivers takes another deep shot and again overthrows his receiver. So that's going to bring up 4th and 10 as they have to go for this if they want any chance. But they need to design a play that's a little bit different than just having someone just run as fast as they can down the field. So 4th and 10. This is the game. Rivers escapes pressure. And he's going to dump it off. No way. They got the first down. Wow. He dumps it off to Bailey Gaither as he's falling to the ground. And Gaither does the rest and gets the first down. Wow. So the clock's still running. It should have stopped for a brief period of time. 1:12 remaining in the ball game. Rivers, Gaither again, as now so now going quickly, as they're just gonna spike this with 53 seconds left. I mean, it's still you're so lucky you chose the Stallions in Week 1, and they've been good ever since. Cool. Like, to win the championship, you mean, or? Wait, what in the world are they doing? They're kicking a field goal on 3rd and what? This is horrible coaching and play calling. What are they doing? Why are you kicking a field goal on 3rd and 2, which is 52 yards, and not even good? What? This makes no sense. What is the championship game called? It is, I believe I read somewhere it's called USFL Bowl 1 this year. But I'm not sure if that is accurate. But now let's go back to this for a second. You go kick a 52-yard field goal on 3rd and 2 with 50-something seconds left. When you could go for so you go for the touchdown first, and then you kick the field goal. Yes, the field goal did hit the upright, or crossbar, whatever you want to call it. As the Stallions get the win, but that is... what? Very confusing. Are the Stallions a playoff lock already? They clinched a playoff spot today. So yes, they are a lock for the playoffs. So now you go back to this, right? You have a... Maulers had such great potential in the first half, had Birmingham on the run, really ruined this game with bad coaching. Exactly. So, I mean, 1, I would have gone for it on the 4th and 6. 2, you get a first down, the clock temporarily stops. While you do it, you either spike the ball on first down, or... yes, the Stallions clinched a playoff spot. So you either spike the ball on first down, and you get to the line quickly, or you just run a play and try to get the touchdown. And then, once you score, so say you score, then you get the then you have the option to go for either the traditional onside kick or the 4th and 12 at your own 33, I think it is. It's a 4th and 12, it's at your own something. I think it's 33. And then you go, and if you convert that, all you have to do is go and get into field goal range, and then you could kick a game-tying field goal to send it to overtime. I don't get it. That made no sense. That was very confusing. Alright, let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts, besides horrible coaching / play calling by the Maulers. That was just... What are you doing? I don't even get it. So, it's... That doesn't make any sense. But, okay. So, the Stallions did get the win. They clinched a playoff spot. They're still undefeated. They moved to 7-0 on the season, winning by a score of 26-16. So the players that qualify for Player of the Week: Bo Scarborough, 27 carries, 100 rushing yards. Willie Henry, a forced fumble, 3 tackles, and a sack. And Special Teams Player of the Week contender Bobby Holly, 52-yard run on a fake punt. So that's very confusing play calling. But I think Houston wins first half against the Stars, but will likely lose in second half again. Like, are you asking me, or are you telling me that's what you think? It could be. I mean, I haven't seen a ton of Gamblers games or Stars games. But I do think the Stars will get the win. As with the Gamblers, really their only good defensive back is Will Likely. And the Stars are a pass first or pass heavy team, whatever you want to call them. So that could potentially be a disaster for the Gamblers. I think it'll be close. But I do think the Stars will get the win. Have a good afternoon. Thanks again. Same to you. Thank you for joining us. As that's essentially going to do it. As you guys heard all my thoughts. So that's all for this stream. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. I do my best to post as often as possible. There's another stream tomorrow night for the Rangers against the Hurricanes, Game 7. That will be a live watch party just like this, but instead of football, it's hockey. So, make sure to like and subscribe. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you guys in the next video.